everybody come on over to the middle, and we're gonna have some remarks now from some of our special guests. My name is Cornell Wright. I'm a partner, and I co-lead the M&A practice here at Torys. On behalf of the firm, I want to welcome all of you here today. It is a highlight of our year, every year, to do this event. We love it, and I can think of 3 reasons we really love it. The first reason is that we have a deep, financially deep even, right? Financially deep commitment to the University of Toronto. I believe we're the only firm in the city of Toronto that boasts among its partners 2 former law deans, Iacobucci and Pritchard. Secondly, we love this program. The JD MBA program produces, we're in a self-selected group here, produces some of the most outstanding people in the country, and we think it's a fabulous program. We hire deeply from this program. This is not a recruiting event, but you're all very welcome here. And thirdly, we really like this event because it gives us the opportunity to hear from and learn from some incredible leaders in the community. I'm looking at Marcia Moffat, who was a speaker here for us last year. I'm looking at Mark Wiseman, and I'm looking in particular at my classmate from JD MBA class of 2000 at U of T, Dan Debow, who would have been unanimously voted as the person most likely to do incredible things in the world, and he's completely lived up to that potential. I thought tonight it would be useful for you to meet one of our other JD MBA grads here at Torys, Emily Debow, who is a rising star in our corporate group. I'm going to turn it over to Emily, who's going to introduce our next speakers.
So hi everybody, my name is Emily Debow. I'm a former JD MBA as well. I'm from U of T in the 2015 class, and I'm now a third-year corporate associate here at Torys. So just to give you a sense of how our evening is going to go, first we'll hear some remarks from Dean Tiff Macklem, followed by remarks from Dean Ed Iacobucci, and then next some remarks from Dan Debow. After that, Cornell and I will say a few words, and we hope that you'll stay for cocktails and mingling. So our first speaker is Dean Tiff Macklem. Dean Macklem served as the Senior Deputy Governor of the Bank of Canada, sharing responsibility with the Governor and 4 Deputy Generals for monetary policy and the bank's role in promoting financial stability. In that role, he was also the bank's Chief Operating Officer and a member of its Board of Directors, overseeing strategic planning and coordinating the bank's operations. Dean Macklem has also played a leading role in efforts to ensure stable financial systems worldwide through the Financial Stability Board. Please join me in welcoming Dean Macklem.
Well, thank you, Emily, and thank you, Cornell. I have to say, this is now the 3rd annual Torys JD MBA alumni event, and it's becoming like an important part of the annual calendar. I mean, this is the event. It's not to be missed. So, Cornell, very seriously, thank you. You've been a wonderful ambassador for the program, and we are, of course, thrilled that you're hiring so many of our graduates. I want to recognize a few people. First, Rob Pritchard, who's here. Rob, thanks for coming. You know Rob is a partner at Torys and chair of BMO, but to Ed and I, Rob is like the wise father. Rob, of course, was dean of the law school. He went on to be president of U of T, and as some of you may know, thanks to his dancing skills, he convinced Sandy Rotman that Joe Rotman should make a wonderful gift and name the Rotman School. And that put Rotman on a whole new trajectory. And Ed and I think of us as, we're like Rob's 2 favorite children. and Rob, like the wise father, he looks after us. He keeps nudging us. He opens doors for us, and he helps us in any way we ask him. So, Rob, thanks for coming, and thank you for all your support over so many years. I also want to recognize Marcia Moffat and Mark Wiseman, who are here. Last year, I mentioned the On Board program, which is a program that where MBAs, JD MBAs, and now some law students go onto volunteer boards, provide some extra capacity. The boards get a wonderfully a wonderful analytic genius to help them move their agenda forward, and the students get a really unique experience on a very impressive board. And as you might expect, this program has been very popular with JD MBAs. Governance is really one of those places where law and business really intersects. And we've had excess demand for this program, but thanks to a generous gift from Marcia and Mark, we've hired a new executive in residence. We're expanding the program, taking on more students, and just to show you the joint commitment, Ed Iacobucci is even giving lectures in this program now. So it doesn't get any better than that. So Mark and Marcia, I just want to particularly thank you. As Cornell said, our JD MBA students are really among the best of the best, and it is, one of the really rewarding parts of this job is to see the many amazing career choices and successes that the JD MBA graduates have achieved over many years. One of the things that Ed and I have been working on is really even beyond the JD MBA program, looking for ways for the law school and the business school to work more closely together. And there are a number of initiatives, but let me just highlight one more, which was I think a real win for both schools over the last year. Very sadly, some of you will remember that 2 years ago, Jeff Tabor and his whole family died tragically in a fire. And to the credit of the business and the law community, they rallied around. Jeff, of course, was a graduate of U of T's law school, and he was a founding member of the Creative Destruction Lab at Rotman. And anybody who knew Jeff, when Jeff started getting involved in CDL, CDL wasn't the thing that's getting so much attention today. It was a theory. It was a piece of paper. Jeff really embraced the vision along with Dan Debow and some others, and turned it into, with a lot of hard work, a tremendously successful innovation. And with the support of family and friends, colleagues, they have honored Jeff's legacy, creating a faculty chair in entrepreneurship and innovation, as well as 2 new scholarships for JD MBA students. And Ed's going to say a word about the scholarships. I wanted to announce that the first holder of the Jeff Tabor Chair in Entrepreneurship and Innovation is Professor Ajay Agrawal. Jay is a professor of strategic management at Rotman. He is the visionary founder of the CDL. And if any of you, some of you I know are in the CDL course, Ajay is just a force of nature. As soon as I find enough space for him, enough resources, he comes in and says, "Oh, by the way, I've doubled the size of the program." Part of my job is just trying to keep up with Ajay, and his dogged determination and his belief in getting the very best and in excellence has really paid off. And I think the Jeff Tabor Chair, I think Jeff would be very proud to have Ajay as the first Jeff Tabor Chair. So I want to thank the many donors who made generous contributions to make this chair happen. And it is now my pleasure to introduce Ed Iacobucci. Ed, over to you.
Thank you, Tiff. Thank you, Cornell. Thank you, Emily. Thank you to Torys for hosting this terrific event. As Cornell mentioned, the Faculty of Law has a long-standing connection to this firm, most recently with the stunning Torys Hall in the Jackman Law Building, clearly one of the crown jewels in the new building. So it's very true that financial support has been one of the ways in which you have helped the law school over the years. As to quote Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, we would trade it all in for a little more. But thank you so much for that. But I also think it's actually really fundamentally important to recognize how Torys supported the faculty, particularly with the early graduates of the law school. John A. and James M. Torry both graduated from the law school at a time when the law school was really this rebellious experiment up at the university. And the success of those two and others in those early years really made the faculty what it is today. So there's many ways, including 5 former deans being associated who've worked at Torys over the years, including another one of my wise fathers. Okay. I also want to thank Tiff for being a wonderfully collaborative and collegial dean at the Rotman School. There's tremendous opportunity for greater collaboration between law and business, and I think we have really just done more than scratch the surface, but there's still a lot of opportunity to really build on this connection we have. So I really want to thank Tiff for really, I think personally, being an important part of that relationship. As you've heard, I want to acknowledge this tremendous generosity in honoring Jeff Tabor, who is the JD class of 1985, with this tremendous legacy. So you heard about the chair, which is wonderful. We're also very grateful to his friends, families, colleagues of the Tabor family to establish the Jeff Tabor Memorial Scholarship. This will support JD MBA students with financial needs. Jeff's passions for law and entrepreneurship are going to be remembered for many reasons, and we're honored at the Faculty of Law that one of these reasons is this scholarship in his name that will provide support to the leaders of tomorrow. So tonight is a great opportunity to celebrate this program, to celebrate you, both the current and students and alumni from the program who've gone on to such incredible roles in a variety of spheres, business, law, entrepreneurship, government. Thank you for giving back to your faculties in a number of ways. Prominently to alumni for setting such wonderful examples. I think it is your examples that makes recruiting into this program as successful as it is. We getting the best and the brightest into our program is a lot easier given the examples that you have provided. At the Faculty of Law, it's an exciting time in the profession. There's lots of change. Certain windows of opportunity are probably narrowing slightly, but others are blowing wide open. And the people in this room, I think, are especially well equipped to take advantage of that. And we are delighted to play a role in your future success. We're determined at the Faculty of Law, as is Rotman, to make sure that we get the best and the brightest no matter what their financial backgrounds are. And we are working hard at the faculty to build support for the student experience generally and student financial aid in particular. Thanks to Mark and Marcia, about whom we've heard already, to generosity of alumni like that and others in the room, Jim Torrey, Rob Pritchard. We're making progress. We've at the faculty, we've raised about 27 of our $30 million goal overall for the student experience, and around 16 out of our $20 million goal specifically for student financial aid. So thank you to those who have given. Thank you to Mark for being our co-chair of the campaign, and to those who have not yet given, please give it consideration. All right, let me turn now to the highlight of the night, which is our guest speaker, Dan Debow. Dan, thank you for your time. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your example. Thank you for your support you've given in a variety of ways at Rotman and the law school, including being an adjunct professor who was just describing. He was taking care of his four children while his partner was in Bangladesh, was closing a deal, his latest deal, with Shopify, as he sold helpful.com to Shopify, and was teaching a class this past Monday morning on intellectual property, and was responsible for taking the lead, and did not let the side down at all. Ben Allery reports that he was a rock star at the last class. So that's the kind of dedication that Dan brings to probably everything that he does. So many of you will know he's a serial entrepreneur, a serial investor. So he's not only built his own businesses, he's helped others build their business. With the sale of Helpful.com, he's become the VP Corporate Development at Shopify, which is a new opportunity for him, a different kind of opportunity, but one that will draw on his experience, in this, starting with this program and everything he's done since, that I'm sure will set him up for even greater success there. He was the Schwartz Gold Medalist at his JD MBA class, has an LLM from Stanford, a BA in psychology from Western. As I've mentioned, he's an adjunct professor at the Faculty of Law, a U of T Arbor awardee, so honoring our volunteers at the University of Toronto, won an Arbor Award, and has also been recognized as Canada's Angel Investor of the Year. So really an incredibly talented person on a variety of dimensions, and it's a delight to introduce you now, Dan. Thanks for being here.
Very kind. It's my professor too, antitrust policy and competition, which comes in handy. Well, first of all, thank you all for coming. I hope it's a great night, and I'm truly humbled. This program really does mean a lot to me, and I wanted to share a few thoughts about why, and also maybe just some thoughts for you that maybe I could share. So the why. This program changed my life. It wasn't like I was a washout or anything like that, but I did not know where I was going to go, and I didn't know what opportunities existed for me in the world. Truly, I didn't. But I luckily got myself into the JD MBA program, and suddenly I was welcomed and opened up to so many opportunities, but more importantly, so many great people. So as a student, I kept coming to events like this, and I took advantage of them. That's where I met Rob Pritchard for the first time. That's where I met Brent Belsberg for the first time. And I would encourage, and what that did for me, that and many other interactions, was just open my horizons to what was possible. And it didn't hurt that this is definitely the most elite program for recruiting, and certainly it didn't hurt that that helped me get a summer job in New York, or helped me get a summer job at Goldman in London. All of those things happened because of this program. So I'm tremendously indebted, and that's why I'll just keep on giving back. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm really actually quite humble, because it meant so much to me and really helped me. But I want to give a few thoughts of advice for you, because I remember being told this is the best investment you're ever going to make in your life. Roger Martin told me that. He said it's going to continue to give returns, and I didn't really understand what he meant. But I wanted to give you some tips, at least from my perspective, on how you can take advantage of it and really make it the highest ROI thing you'll ever do. And it really is. So the first one is, it's in vogue today, but I'll encourage you, is to be mindful while you're at the school. I understand the pressure of everyone's competing, and Torys interviews are coming up, and can I get a summer job here, and I've got antitrust competition policy paper to write. But you have to realize how special and how amazing the period of time you have at the business and law school is to truly just open your mind, explore horizons, try things that are different. And that was something that I was able to do. I was very aware of how wonderful this was for my brain. I was just learning at a pace that I'd never had before. And I would encourage you to do that. Like, just take a second and reflect how special this time is, because it will not come back. Different things will happen. But trust me, Cornell and I go out for dinner often, and we talk about how great it was. And I encourage you to try and appreciate where you are right now, because I think it'll help imprint those memories for you, and it'll help you open you up to all that this program can offer to you. And Torys won't like me saying this, but you can do many other things in addition to being a fantastic corporate lawyer through this program. And you won't find them, though, if you're caught up in stress and you're not allowing yourself to just relax a little bit and realize that the world truly is your oyster right now. So that's why you're there and what you should do. The second thing I would encourage you to do is to really hold on to your friends that you make at this school. Because the people that I went to school with are still the friends I have today. The people, and I will be more ecumenical and broad, including your just MBA friends and your just law school friends. I got a note today from one of my law school classmates who runs a firm, and he's become my personal lawyer. The two folks who were the MCs at my wedding were business school classmates of mine. Those relationships that you have, I know you think here, well, that's just like, the bozo next to me in study class, or when I'm studying. These people will go on and do amazing things, and you'll do them with them. don't let those friendships go away. Keep investing in them. Stay friends with people. And it's really easy. Here's the tip. Just send someone a note every few months. How you doing? I read this article. I mean, truly, you will not believe. I'm 20 years out this morning hearing the announcement of the transaction that we did. Brian Godofsky, who's now a JD MBA alum and now the co-head of investment banking for Credit Suisse, was like, hey, how you doing? What's up? And it wasn't fake or false because we've kept in touch. And so I encourage you to really remember the friends that you made here and don't let go of them. And don't also think that you have to just be friends with the people that are in your class. Right? I'm friends with Mark. I'm proud to admit it, but he was ahead of me. And you can use this as leverage to build great relationships both ahead of you in the class and behind you. And you should do that. That's what makes this program great. You will be amazed how, in truth, you can pick up the phone and call someone who is in this program and they will give you their time. It is a special bond. Okay, so be mindful while you're there. Make sure you make friends. And the last thing I would say is do business with the people that you're in school with. And for me, that was something I never anticipated. And I never anticipated that this would be the place where I would find co-founders, but that's exactly what happened. First, with WorkBrain, which was a company I ended up not taking a job at any firm or anything like that. I ended up working in a startup. But Matt Chapman, who's now a partner at TorQuest, came with me, and we started to do business together as co-founders of WorkBrain, working for David Ossett. When I came time to start another company, Ripple, the first thing I did was go back to the JD MBA program and give a talk and just say, look, I'm looking for someone who wants to do something with me. And that's how George Babu became my co-founder of Ripple, and he's had a fantastic career and continues to. And I'm looking right at David Party over here. That's exactly what happened the third time around. I said, I'm looking for someone great, and David took the chance to work with me. And so those relationships of doing business with people, actually doing the thing that you study about, those are going to happen. You should do that. It will only make this program better. And I said 3 things, but I'm going to give you a 4th. My 4th thing is you should give back. Because as much as you, David's laughing because he's like, you can't just stop at 3, I knew it. But really giving back is not giving back, it's taking. It makes you happier. That, like, going to get a chance to teach a class is one of the highlights of my year and a highlight of my week, every week, because I get a chance to go back to that amazing mindful experience of what it was like to be back at school. Working with Mark and Joanna Rotenberg and helping Tiff to facilitate a magnificent gift from Joe Rotman, unfortunately on his passing, was a great pleasure because we got to help out. And so I would encourage you to give back in many ways. Take the call, volunteer in a course, be a mentor for someone, and yes, you should also write a check. I would be wrong to say that this place doesn't run on good feelings alone. You need to help out. And I would encourage you now, the trick to it is you don't have to wait until you're the head of banking somewhere or the head of Torys. Just get into the habit of making a small donation on a monthly basis, even now, even though you have a ton of other student debt and all sorts of things. But that habit is going to keep you connected in your heart a little bit to this place, which is special. And it will only pay off. That's what's going to make this one of the best investments you've ever made in your life. It certainly has for me, so thanks very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for your words. I think everybody in this room would agree that what you've done in your career really exemplifies the power of this program and the way in which you've done great things in business, you've given back to the community, and you've had a rich and fulfilling personal life. Really, I think gives great credit to who you are and to what you've contributed. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you to our 2 deans, and most importantly, thank you to all of the current students and alum who come tonight. This is just the start. Please stay, enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.